The Young Turks, brought to you by Carbonite Online Backup.
Here's a Today Show piece. This aired this morning, Friday, on the Today Show. It doesn't take a particular point of view. It has the Republican argument and is the oil company argument. They say, hey, we're not asking for subsidies that don't go to any other business. The subsidies are given to us to try to encourage growth, stimulate business, and we'll hire people. It's horse crap, but that's their argument. That's in the piece. And then it has the Democrats' point of view saying it's outrageous that you guys get these subsidies. You make more money than any other company, except maybe financial services, and you shouldn't be getting subsidies. It makes that point. It's a fair piece. I wish it was tougher, but it's a fair piece. And then we'll show you how Fox covers it. Here's the Today Show piece.
Well, are you frustrated by high gas prices? Who isn't? Well, so are members of Congress. And Thursday, they put oil executives on the hot seat. NBC's Capitol Hill correspondent Kelly O'Donnell has the details. Good morning to you, Kelly.
Good morning, Natalie. Here we've got a politically charged combination. Those high gas prices, high oil company profits, and a soaring federal debt. And that led Senate Democrats to bring in and call out oil CEOs. The oil industry's Big Five, on track to reap record profits this year.
Do these very profitable companies actually need these taxpayer subsidies?
Senate Democrats are fighting to end some tax deductions oil companies now legally take, worth about $21 billion over 10 years.
Raising our taxes will not reduce the price of gasoline.
Republicans argue it's wrong to single out a few corporations with higher taxes and dismiss this as silly political theater.
I have a chart depicting what I expect this hearing to turn into. And there you go.
Outraged Democrats say if social programs get cut, big oil should sacrifice.
How in the world can you possibly need incentives when oil is at $100 a barrel?
The easy to find oil has already been found. Our costs go up. Taxes have gone up. The oil is more difficult to find, more challenging.
Oil companies say those deductions make them more competitive against foreign oil companies, claiming that saves American jobs. Democrats called out the ConocoPhillips CEO over a press release that called ending the tax breaks un-American.
Do you think anyone who advocates cutting these subsidies is un-American? Yes or no?
Well,
yes or no, sir? That one, we deserve a yes or no answer on. It was your release that said un-American. Yes or no?
The executive said the term un-American wasn't personal, but some of the back and forth got heated.
I think you're out of touch, deeply, profoundly out of touch, and deeply and profoundly committed to sharing nothing.
I want to assure you I'm not out of touch at all. And we do understand the big picture, and we understand the enormous challenges confronting the American people.
And these executives said if their tax deductions and breaks are cut, the same should apply to other industries. And next week there will be a vote on this, and there are a couple of Democrats who don't want to see this changed either, and they come from oil-producing states.
That was Today's Show Today, a piece from Kelly O'Donnell. The anchor there was Natalie Morales. It's a reasonable piece. I love Orrin Hatch, so pleased with himself. This dog and pony show, it's a picture you see of a dog on top of a pony. That's that Orrin Hatch sense of humor. That's a reasonable piece. The big oil companies, again, the big five oil companies, Shell, ExxonMobil, ConocoPhillips, and the other two, BP and Chevron. So they made $34 billion over the last 5 years. Exxon has so much money, they made so much money, and they paid no tax last year, that they don't know what to do with it. It's literally, they put it under their giant they put it under their giant gas-soaked mattress. These poor guys, though, they need their tax breaks. So here's how Neil Cavuto at Fox Business covered this story, because Neil Cavuto never passes up an opportunity to stand up for the big guy.
It's time to defend big oil. I thought it warranted an alert because no one is, and, well, no one does. And today's kangaroo court bashing of oil CEOs on Capitol Hill proved it. Now, frankly, I don't know why oil bosses put themselves through this charade, blasted by senators for sky-high oil prices that had nothing to do with them and everything to do with the two-bit politicians chastising them. The ones who won't let them drill, won't let them expand, won't let them do anything. the ones too busy harping about taking their tax credits away than just letting them drill away. Name me a CEO in the oil industry who wouldn't happily make that swap.
It's time to defend big oil. What are you talking about? Who is this clown? Because no one will. You want to know why no one will? Because they're indefensible. So then Neil Cavuto runs some clips of the Democratic senators, like where he calls it he called it kabuki theater. And he runs some clips of the Democratic senators asking questions. But they were just like 4 Democratic senators asking questions. Like he ran Ron Wyden and Chuck Schumer and Robert Menendez and Jay Rockefeller. They weren't even outrageous questions. They weren't even funny. They weren't even grandstanding. I don't know what producer picked them. They were totally fine. Even Cavuto coming out of the clip and he was like, that wasn't even the worst of it. It wasn't even the worst of it. It was harmless. Anyway, so I've left that part out for you. Then he comes back and he sort of wraps this up with as lame a pun at Harry Reid as one can have. Here's the rest of Neil Cavuto's rant against rant in favor of the most powerful people in America.
I'm telling you, it was kabuki theater. This embarrassing theater of senators who couldn't come up with a coherent energy policy if their lives depended on it, lecturing energy to the guys who, through all of this nonsense, consistently provide it. So we have the House passing a measure today to overturn the president's ban on offshore drilling, but a Senate whose leader, Harry Reid, says that body won't be voting. Get this, he won't even give them the chance. Does Harry not see that we're harried?
Woo! Booyah! Don't forget your waiters and waitresses. Does Harry see we're not harried? Oh, Neil Cavuto. Neil Cavuto with the Harry see that we're not harried, and Orrin Hatch with the dog and pony show. These are some funny dudes, man. All right, so that's how Fox chose to cover that story. Now, here's how Dan Frumkin chose to cover that story. There's been a lot of talk about the ConocoPhillips CEO, James Mulva, who issued a press release calling the idea that Democrats would take away the tax breaks for big oil, calling it un-American, which enraged Chuck Schumer, which you saw in the NBC piece. Chuck Schumer saying, are you calling President Obama un-American? James Mulva responding today that it wasn't personal. Just the taking away of the tax breaks would be un-American, because it's un-American to limit the number of profits that big oil can make. That's un-American. The middle class and poor people, they need to pay the burden of reducing our deficit. It's un-American to ask us with our enormous profits to pay this.
Eventually, you're going to have a computer disaster, your computer is going to crash, and you're going to lose all your files. But with Carbonite Online Backup, you don't have to worry about any of that because it automatically saves your files off-site. You can access all of your backed up files from any computer remotely, or if you want, you can also access your files through an iPhone or BlackBerry with Carbonite's awesome free app. Carbonite costs just $55 a year for unlimited backup for your PC or Mac. Think about it, that's less than $5 a month. Get a free trial at Carbonite.com by using the promo code TYT, and you also get 2 months free if you decide to buy.